Hey folks, today we're doing an unboxing of the Smith & Wesson M&P Performance Center Shield EZ. Let's get right to it. Hey folks, welcome to the 9mm Tuesday edition of Get on Target with Link. Glad you're here. Today we're doing our first unboxing video, and this is going to be on the Smith & Wesson M&P Performance Center 9mm EZ. Now the EZ line came out in 380, just recently came out in 9mm, and now Performance Center has worked their magic on the EZ line and upgraded it. And we're going to get into some of those upgrades in just a minute. I consider this to be my #1 favorite first-time user gun to purchase. If money isn't any object, this is going to be in the mid-5s, so this is not a super inexpensive weapon, but this is one that's going to serve you well for a very long time and for many different purposes, and get you shooting well right off the bat. So let's get into the unboxing. As you can see, the first thing that you notice when just looking at the box is a really big box, and it's not a really big gun. This is a gun that can be used for concealed carry. It's small enough to get away with that, as well as home defense, fun at the range, target shooting. Just an all-around great weapon. Can do a lot of tasks well, but it's a big box for a small gun. We're going to see why. Let's open her up. When we open up the box, of course, we get all of our paperwork. You have my local ranges advertising, a pretty comprehensive manual. Not a lot of color in it, but there's a lot of information in it. So take time to go through this because there's a lot of useful information here. California warnings, etc. But all the usual paperwork, and we'll set that aside. Now, in here, we have some additional accessories, an additional magazine. There's one in the gun as well. We're going to go back over this because this is one of the features of this gun, and you'll see why. You also have the safety lock, this one in a lovely mint green. How exciting. And that's about it. Yep, that's it in there. The reason for the size of the box is this. All of the Performance Center models are going to come with a cleaning kit. And the cleaning kit's really nice, actually. Semi-hard case. When you open it, it's very portable, so this is something that you could easily throw in your range bag and have with you at the range. But inside you'll have swabs, cleaning tool there, different copper swabs, a brush, an extension handle for the poker. Just a really well organized, comprehensive case. Lots of different sizes here, so you can do things, everything from 22 up to 45, I think, in there. And the same case comes in all of the Performance Center models, but nice little extra that you get. Not a reason to buy the gun, but very useful cleaning kit. So we'll put that aside. Okay, so here's the star of the show. Here's the Smith & Wesson M&P Performance Center 9mm EZ edition. Now, this is the Performance Center enhanced version of a weapon that they already have on the market. The Shield EZ has been around a couple of years and has been very popular. It's calibered in .380, and that makes it a fantastic first-time purchase. This one's a 9mm. Now, this is called the EZ because there's technology built into these that make this as easy a first-time weapon as you could possibly buy. I don't know anything easier to operate. Some of those factors that are challenging for first-time buyers or people with physical limitations, older people, my age and older, some women, some people with disabilities. Anybody that has some challenges physically will find this weapon to really aid them in getting into the operation of a weapon. As an example, the slide is extremely easy to rack. I'll demonstrate it using a finger. There's nothing to it. It's easy. That can be a big challenge for a new shooter. Racking the slide can just really be a challenge for some people that are just starting out. So that's a big help. One of the other things that is incredibly easy to do on this weapon, putting it aside for just a second, is loading it. The magazines, it's a single stack magazine, holds 8 rounds, but these 2 wings on the side, they make this a breeze to load. You just push down on those and down goes the spring. And it can't be easier. This is the easiest magazine to load in the biz. You will not need a speed loader to load your weapon. This is going to hold 8, and you can hold 1 in the chamber. So you've got 9 rounds, making this a reasonable weapon for home defense, because it's a single stack, it's thin, it's not a terribly fat gun, so it's going to be easy to conceal. So it's a perfectly reasonable concealed carry weapon. You can see it's not that big. Going to the range with it is a joy. The sights are going to make it, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but it makes it a great one for target shooting. Just a terrific weapon all around. This is the Swiss Army knife of semi-automatic pistols. Just it'll do everything well. Some of the things that are so important about this for a first-time shooter, this has got a grip safety on it. That means that if I don't have a proper grip on the weapon, it's not shooting. If I limp wrist my weapon, I can pull that trigger all day and it's not firing. I have to engage that grip for it to click. So this is a big deal. This is a great learning tool back here, as well as a great safety to have for those people that are not particularly fond of safeties. Now, personally, I am. This one has this thumb safety as well, and it's ambidextrous. It's on both sides of the weapon. So, righties, lefties, you've got your thumb safety available to you. I find that I like to carry one in the chamber when concealed, and I carry it with the thumb safety engaged, and then as I withdraw the weapon, I can easily drop it and I'm ready to go. So that's my preference. Lots of experienced shooters hate the thumb safeties. They're just completely opposed to them, don't like them at all. I'm not that guy. I like them. I also feel like if you don't like them, you can ignore them. But the thing that's important about this is you can buy it without that. You can get this same weapon, but with no thumb safety. So if that's your preference, go for it. I think the first-time shooter, the more safeties, the better. It's a confidence builder. There's fear of the weapon and a lack of knowledge of how they operate and keep you safe in their inherent design. So having extra safeties can be a great comfort for a new shooter. So super easy to use. There is a round in the chamber indicator. You can see it right there. That is going to pop up and be physically distended, so you can feel it in the dark to know whether you have something in the chamber, and you can also visually see it. You don't want to depend on that, but it's a great indicator and a good start to know whether you've got a round in the chamber. Obviously, this is covered with bling. This is gold, and I got the gold for two reasons. Shows up great on video, so you can see it extremely well. And I also personally think it's the sexiest weapon on the market. I just thought it looked cool as hell. That's me. Not everybody's going to like the bling. If you don't, they make it in silver, which tones it down a little bit. And they make all of these gold pieces in black. And that just makes it look like every other weapon and very much more subtle and not prone to bringing attention to itself. I just thought it looked really cool. So I like this gun. But get it how you like. That's all just cosmetic. Now, moving on to what Performance Center did to make this more of a performance-oriented weapon. You can see the slide cuts up here. The slide cuts really, I think, are more a cosmetic for show embellishment to this weapon. The idea in slide cuts is you're lightening the slide, so the mass of the slide going back when it shoots is reduced, and that, in theory, would reduce the recoil. The amount that is removed here is so minor, I don't really think that's going to have much of an actual practical effect on the recoil of this weapon, but it does look cool. So there you go. The other thing that was built into this on the Performance Center, you can see that the barrel is sticking out at the end of the weapon, right? So you can see on the barrel, there's a hole in that barrel. You see it? So that is a gas port. So as the bullet is discharged going forward, some of the gases of that explosion are redirected upwards, pushing the gun back down and counteracting the recoil. I have not yet run into a reviewer that found that that had much practical application. None of them seem to be aware of of feeling any difference in the recoil from that, with the exception of one. She did feel like it had some effect, and I'm sure it did for her. But for the most part, I don't think it's going to be, even if there is a difference, it's so minor, I don't think that's going to be a reason to buy it. More the bling factor of that is the greater effect that it has. But there it is. Now, we know that it's easy to rack. We know that the magazines are incredibly easy to load. The other things that Performance Center has done to this weapon to increase its function are primarily twofold. One is the trigger. You can see the trigger is serrated, and it's a flat front trigger. Good large platform for your finger to land on and feel confident. And those serrations in it make it so that your finger, it's on there solidly. It's not going to slip. If you're sweaty or have some other fluids on your hands, it's not going to be prone to slipping off of that trigger. The trigger is also it's a great feeling trigger. There's a strong wall that you reach. When you pull that trigger back, you hit a wall that's like a rock, and then click. and the click is definitive, and it's just very confidence building. You know where you are in the process of pulling that trigger. So great trigger on this. The other thing that makes this higher performance than the original Shield EZ are the sights. The sights are both fiber optic for better view during the day, and tritium loaded for night sights. This is a legitimate nighttime carry weapon. You'll be able to see what you're doing when you're carrying this weapon in pitch black, as well as having great acquisition during the daytime. The magazine release is solid and easy for it to pop out, and it's reversible. So you can, for you lefties, you've got a thumb safety on this side if you choose the thumb safety model, and you can switch the magazine release so that it's on the right hand side of the weapon. So this gun can be set up ambidextrously. It also has a Picatinny rail, so you'll be able to add a laser, you'll be able to add a light if those are accessories that you want to complete your weapon for your use. So all in all, this is probably my #1 selection of a weapon for a first-time shooter. I can't think of a better one. It's going to teach you good habits. It's going to be easy to operate. It's going to be easy to load. What more could you want? And it looks great too. Shoots great. Get yourself one. Go down to your range, see if they have one as a rental, and give it a shoot. That's what I did. I shot one before I bought one, and I was impressed. I shot the 380, super easy to shoot, and for first-time shooters, that might be the way to go. The 9mm is not a tremendous recoil anyway, so you'll be okay there as well as a first-time shooter. Give it a try. Smith & Wesson M&P Performance Center 9mm EZ. Great gun. So that's it for today's version of 9mm Tuesday on Get on Target with Link. This is a super weapon. Just well designed, well thought out. In the 9mm, it's really a great, once you've got your legs under you and you really know what you're doing, if this was the only gun you had, you'd get away with it. And it would do everything you needed it to do, and then some. So, highly recommend it. Can't find a fault with it. I really recommend them. If this was useful, if you enjoyed it, I'm going to have some more weapon reviews. We're going to have more on this one going forward, but we'll get to that. We'll get to a lot of stuff. If you want to see it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and when that comes up, ring that notification bell. We'll let you know that there's another one out there for you to watch, and I hope you come aboard. So until the next time that we meet on Get on Target with Link, see ya.